What are we doing here?
Now you're in the garden.
What are we doing?
Building garden.
Cool. Getting some supplies for the garden. Here's the supplies over here. Hi guys, how you going? We're going to do our garden video today. I went to the harbour yesterday with my daughter, picked up some treated pine. So today we'll get organised, get the right safety equipment, safety glasses and a mask to cut the pine and measure it out, do some marking out. And like we always say at school, please draw everything so you've got something to work off. So I'm going to do some little sketches of the garden bed, some measurements, cut the pine and screw it together, and I've got a truckload of dirt coming, so we'll film that up, put it together for whoever wants to see building a quick garden, and then later we'll do some irrigation and plant our seedlings in there. So we're getting some treated pine we just picked up from the harbour. I took a little video of picking it up, put it on the roof rack. So we're going to drag it off, put it here with the other treated pine. We'll do a little footage of cutting it up and making another garden bed. We're going to make 2 more garden beds to go alongside with their first one. So 3 garden beds would be great. So don't forget when you're doing a job to have all the right equipment. I have my boots, safety gear, glasses, earmuffs and a mask. The mask isn't for the virus, it's actually for the timber we're about to cut. And the timber is a treated pine, which is a bit toxic to breathe the dust, so you want to not breathe it, so you wear a mask. I've just got a standard P2 mask. We'll walk out here. So the garden, this is my first garden that I built a while back there with the seedlings from school. It's very important when you do a garden to get the right aspect for the sun. And this property, I've got a couple of small ones here as well. So that's east, so the sun rises in the east, and in the winter months, as the year goes on, which is happening now, the sun's more in the northeast. So the garden bed I'm going to do is going to be here, which will be great for the sun. You'll get good morning sun for quite a few hours and shade in the afternoon. And the other bed is over here, which will be not so good in the morning, but will be good in the afternoon for a couple of hours. And a little dilemma we have, there's an existing garden and there's a piece of hardwood that actually goes internally into the house, which I really don't like. That's no good for termites. I'm going to cut that off. I'm going to dig the dirt away from that edge. And as you can see, I've got my tape measure. It's about 3400 by 12. I'll take the dirt away from the house so there'll be a gap of dirt, giving the house some breathing room for termite. As I've always said in school, can you please do a drawing? So I've done a little drawing here. It's nothing spectacular. All we've got is our 2 beds. We've got a bed, the top bed there, 34 by 1200. The next bed down there, 24 by 1200. And a bit of maths, the 5.8 by 1.2 metres, the overall size is 6.96 squares times 0.3 for the depth, and it gives you 2.08 metres cubed. And that's how much dirt I've got coming today. So this is where we're going to dump our soil here. And there's a landscape truck across the road. He's going to back in here and dump the soil, and then we'll have to wheelbarrow it all across out to our garden, out through the back gate. I'm going to transplant these little aloe veras here. They're not that big. As long as you take a fair bit of soil around the roots and put them in a pot with a bit of water, they'll be fine. I'll replant them at the end. I'll cut through this piece of wood and take it out of the way. So I've cut through there, and I'm going to pull this out. It's a lot deeper in the ground than you think. See how deep in the ground it is? It's quite a large piece of wood. The pieces of wood and around the back of the garden bed. For my bed, I've got to put a dig across there because that channel, but I'll do that after I make my frame. I've got a guide to my saw, which is a skateboard, the same height as the saw deck at this ground level. Got my boots, my mask and glasses. Just get my earphones, and we'll do a cut. So this is marking out. You're going for the 3400. I always do a little mark and then a cross like I do that you guys know from school. So this is the first cut. Here we go. That's a 3.4 metre cut. Beautiful, nice, neat cut, nice and square. This is a 75mm by 38mm or 40mm. We're going to cut here on that line 300mm piece to do those corners to join the garden beds together. They're little corners. So there's 4 of them, and this is the mark out. Put one on top, mark it out with a pen, move that out of the way, then cut it, put that one separate. When you're using one to mark out, always use the same one so you get exactly the same size cut every time. And don't forget, if you cut anything, measure twice, cut once. This job can all be done with a hand saw as well. You don't need one of these saws. I'm doing the lazy way. Okay, so what I've done, I've cut up my pieces of wood. I'll put one under here, one under there, one under each end. I'll show you in a minute how I did it. Measure the distance of the timber, the 3400. What's half of 3400? 17. So I'm going to put a 17 mark here. with a little arrow. I always do an arrow, something I learnt when I did my trade. Slide these under. Using these second-hand roofing screws with little rubber grommets on, I'll take the grommets off and I'll put one of them in, line this up, choose to put one in here for now. When you put them in, do them in bursts, so burst away like that. So these are the sides that I screwed together earlier, and then I'm putting these ends on. They're 1400 wide. I've decided to go a little bit bigger than 1200. How do I know if it's recording? Has it got a little red dot on it? Like that means recording, is it?
If you look at the front of it, it'll have a flashing light.
Okay. In the middle of our garden process, the kids are doing their schoolwork. We've got computers going everywhere. There's Miri in his room.
Yeah, it's so awesome.
It's time to come and jump on the trampoline.
Oh! Around the side.
Ready?
Go with the boys.
Heavy. Just don't want to break it. What's it?
Don't lie to it.
Thanks, Mary.
Down, 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 down.
Prices are done.
One edge has gone in, as you're seeing lifting in. I'm now cutting plastic to staple around the outside to protect the treated wood from the dirt. So I'll staple some plastic and I'll show you how I'm cutting the plastic. So if I'm using an old blade that I can put in the dirt that I don't worry about. Measure 350, use my tape as a guide. And then cut along there like that. Not too concerned, doesn't have to be perfect. It's quite cheap, this stuff's $4 a metre. And it's actually 4 metres wide, so it's $4 times 4 metres. I'm going to staple them on. You guys would have seen these at school, just a stapler. And these take P50 staples, which is the T50, sorry, which is standard staple. Come along here, hold the plastic up. I'm going to start here, it doesn't really matter. It's really just a bit of protection. So there's the garden bed with the plastic in it, and I've evened all the sand out and the existing dirt that was in there, kind of levelled it out, and it's fairly porous, which would be good to have in the base of the garden. So now it's time to do the hard yards and move it all into the garden. I'm going to do one more bed as well. I'm going to build another bed that'll go here. I'm excited. I'm going to get the materials and pick that up shortly. It'll be great. Second wheelbarrow load going in. It's going to take a little bit of time. I'm going to do my second bed as well, so it'll be a lot of work, but I'll have a great garden. Okay guys, this is the last garden bed for the day. We've done 3, we've done that garden bed there. Put loads of dirt in it. We're doing that, dirt's going in that one. The boys working on that with the plastic around it. I'm going to screw this one together, put plastic in and fill it up, and that'll be it. I'll put a screw in here.